That we're by and large on track. 78% of the votes have been counted thus far, and probably in the wee hours of tomorrow morning, we'll hit that 90, and then by the close of business tomorrow, chances are a lot of the counting will be finished, and then we set up for Thursday when the official announcement has been done after they've had an opportunity to deal with some of the queries and questions that might be raised by the various parties. All right, so that's a first chat that we have. We've got a lot more still to play out, and we've got our reporters at various points across the country at the various results operation centres in the various provincial areas. But I can just tell you that, our figures are still trickling in there. My eyes are terrible, I've got to tell you, but it looks like what's the time now? 10 past 10. I'm going to get my people to whisper in my ear what these figures are telling us at this time, but I think it's saying 40, is that 46%? Yeah. All right. Oh, you want me to swap? Okay. All right. Okay. So what we're going to do, we're going to go around the country, as I said, to the various results operation centres, the provincial ones. And I think we're going first of all to Chriselda Lewis, who's in the Gauteng Results Operations Centre, and that's in Alberton, south of Johannesburg. Let's cross there now. Chriselda, I guess Gauteng is one of those really hotly contested provinces when we consider the metros Johannesburg and Tshwane, and so a lot of interest where you are.
Oh, absolutely, Peter. We're still monitoring the results here from the Gauteng Results Centre in Alberton, as you correctly pointed out. I think I should just start here, Peter, in that quite earlier on, I'm sure you saw, it was quite bold, for the Treasurer General of the ANC, Paul Mashatile, who told our colleague Sophie Mokoena that his party has basically reached a point where it cannot work alone. He cut what seemed to be a disappointed figure. So the count so far, equally so in Johannesburg, is unlikely to please the ANC, where the new kid on the block, of course, Action SA, is biting into its support base like in areas in Soweto, a previous stronghold of the ANC. So currently in Gauteng, we are at over, I think it's about 55% of the votes counted when I last checked. But I want to bring in Professor William Gumede, who's joining us from the Results Operations Centre in Pretoria, and he's going to give us some analysis on what we're seeing so far with regard to the results here in Johannesburg, or rather around Gauteng. Prof, a very good evening to you. Thank you very much indeed for your time. So quite a bold statement there that was made by the Treasurer General of the ANC, basically saying that the party does not or sees that it simply cannot walk alone. But the ANC at this particular point simply doesn't have a choice. Absolutely.
They don't have a choice. They're either going to be in opposition or they will have to strike an alliance. And I think that's going to be, the next 48 hours is going to be very tense, 48 hours for the ANC. I mean, projections is so far 46 to 48%. It looks like that. It would mean that they will have to get into an alliance to be the governing party in either Tshwane or either in Johannesburg.
Yeah. So is it surprising, though, Prof, that you have, the Action SA performing even better than the EFF in Johannesburg?
I think that is really the surprising event of the election. I mean, the way they've performed. You have to think about it. I mean, they're not in all parts of the country, and really, and I think it's all around. Herman Masaba is a former Joburg mayor. His personality, and also I think the hard work that they put into, particularly in Soweto and Johannesburg, but also the kind of work that they've done in the townships out of Tshwane. And I think also they've been dismissed by the DA, and I think they've also been dismissed by the ANC. So, they've been underestimated, and I think possibly, they are possibly, the future of South Africa's politics. Of course, they're going to have to learn a lesson from COPE and also from the EFF, that they have to build and consolidate and build a proper infrastructure. But clearly, I think, they are, there are two things out of this election so far. It is the ANC going below 50%. It's a psychological barrier, is the end of the ANC's dominance. It's going to be downwards from here. And I think the second big thing, obviously, is the rise, clearly, of this new party accent, South Africa and Herman Mashaba.
Yeah, so no surprise in Tshwane, though. I mean, the ANC and the DA neck and neck. I mean, is this a repeat of what we saw in 2016?
In 2016, what we saw in 2016 was actually the ANC was still ahead in both Tshwane and Joburg. So what we've now seen, at least in Tshwane, where it seems that the DA has made a little bit of inroads, and of course in Johannesburg, where we now see Accent South Africa. I think the DA most probably, not only in Gauteng, but also nationally, they will rue the day that they push out Herman Mashaba. Because he would have been a formidable person if he was still in the DA.
Prof William Gumede, we really appreciate your time and your insights here on the SABC News Channel. Thank you very much for joining us live from the Results Centre in Tshwane, as we're live here at the Gauteng Results Centre. Let's just take a quick look. Let me get our shot for just a second, and we take a look at what is taking place in Gauteng at this particular point. The African National Congress, 119 wards at this particular stage. From the votes that I've counted, recall that I said that we're about 55% of the votes counted now. Vote support, 841,239, following the Democratic Alliance with 46 awards there, with 654,684. Third in line, there are the Economic Freedom Fighters with 289,189. And of course, to watch there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, moving towards that particular direction. Of course, the new kid on the block is what to watch, in particular when it comes to these metros. You would know that what is closely being watched at this particular point is how the performance will range in the city of Johannesburg, as well as Ekurhuleni and Tshwane, as well, as lots of the focus is being put on the metros.
Chriselda, thanks very, very much indeed. And so that's Gauteng, and we'll be crossing right across the country throughout the course of this evening to